Hey everyone, it's me, Yvonne Emil Elizondo from Silver Moon Astrology and Transpersonal Counseling, also known as Silver Moon Counseling. Wow, a title just keeps getting longer and longer every time. Anywho, so it's Sunday, and I'm just gonna kind of walk you through how I ended up right here pressing the record button. And I'm warning you because you're gonna be in my head, and it can be very confusing, especially because I have Mercury retrograde on the midheaven at the very top part of my chart, which is also known as severe ADHD. Okay, here we go. So here's how I ended up here. Now, I was actually, my daughter was going through my YouTube channel, right? And she was like, Mom, you have a whole bunch of videos, right? She's like, I think you need to create some playlists for them. And I was like, oh, okay. Like, I don't know anything about social media stuff, right? And so as I was going through, I actually did have a whole bunch of videos, right? And I'm creating these playlists, and it got me thinking about why I actually started recording in the first place. And so it was during lockdowns, right? So it was during the vid. Don't want to actually say the C word because, you know, YouTube is being very careful about the C word. And so when the vid happened and we went into lockdown, I, like many other people, turned to social media to try to find some sort of connection. But I was really trying to at least share something, like contribute to something positive during that time. And then it just kind of became a habit of posting the astrology videos, especially the full moon and the new moon videos. But somewhere along the way, I kind of, put aside more of the magical witchy videos. And I was like, whoa, those are really fun. I think I need to start getting back to those. And that's how I ended up here. Okay, so I hope you're able to follow that. But if you've seen some of my other videos, you know that these are just impromptu videos. Like, I don't prepare anything. So whatever comes out of my mouth comes out of my mouth. Sometimes it's great, sometimes it's maybe not so great. But my hope is that at least one person might get something out of these videos. So what I want to do is I want to just spend a little bit of time really reminding ourselves, especially me, about how some of these magical witchy tools can be really good for your mental health, or to at least help, manage your mental health. Okay. Now, I am a licensed professional counselor. I've been a professional astrologer and a transpersonal counselor for over 25 years. Yep, I'm pretty old. Older, I'm wise, I'm experienced. Yeah, there we go. And I was going somewhere with this, and I just forgot where I was going with this. But anyhow, yes, through my experience, I realized that a lot of these magical, witchy, spiritual healing tools, whatever you want to call them, can be really, really good for helping us stay in tuned and grounded. And if we're feeling depressed, maybe we can, help manage that depression or that episode or that cycle. If we're feeling sad, the journaling is great, but so are these magical, witchy, spiritual healing tools. Okay. And one of those tools that I love to use are the oracle cards. And I got away from, recording the oracle outlook for the week. And so I wanted to start doing that again. Now, mind you, I have Mars in Pisces, which means that I kind of go with the flow based on how I'm feeling, hence impromptu. So I am really going to focus on committing to pushing these, videos out. And yeah, so let's see how that goes. The commitment to myself. Okay. All right. So let's see what this week, is asking us to focus on, maybe the energy for this week. And yeah, I'm really excited because I love using the oracle cards and the pendulums and the crystals and the candles and the herbs and, yeah, sigils and runes and astrology. I love it. I love it. I love it. So let's get back to it. Okay. Y'all ready? Let's see what message we're supposed to be. So let's ask our higher selves, our spirit guides. Let's ask the universe. Okay, if you want to refer to that energy as God, Chi. Whoop. All right. Oh, this one's pretty. Let me just pick it up because it actually flew out of the deck. Compassion. Oh, look how pretty that is. I don't know if the camera is actually, like, the colors on this is beautiful. And before I get started, let me just share, these are the Kyle Gray, the Angel Guide Oracle, love his work, and the artist, the illustrator, right? So beautiful. All right, so maybe this week is about compassion. Oh my gosh, with everything going on right now, no judgment right now, right? But it's hard not to be judgy, right? Let's talk about that for a minute, because that judgment, so I'm going somewhere with this, so bear with me. That judgment factor, which is almost the opposite of compassion, that judgment factor is what gets us into more challenging situations, especially with our mental health, right? So especially with everything that's going on, I'm going to put this down because I feel like Vanna White at this point. So we know it's compassion. So let's talk about that. So with everything going on, especially with the war, you know, and everything that's happening with Ukraine, we can very easily find ourselves tapping out of that compassion, right? Because that judgment kicks in, whatever judgment you have, perception you have of what's going on, whether it's with Ukraine or whether it's, you know, in your life, or whether it's with a friend or whatever, okay? It's that we disconnect ourselves from that compassion energy as soon as we start tapping into judgment. Now, does that mean that you cannot have your own perception and your own opinions? Absolutely, you can. I mean, we wouldn't be human if we didn't. But when we get caught up in the cycle or the story of the judgment is when we are more prone to disconnect from that sense of compassion. Now, you might say, well, I'm judging, you know, the invasion and there was no reason for that, but I'm still compassionate to the Ukrainian people. And granted, that can be true, absolutely. What I'm saying is, we want to be very mindful of how much energy we're spending towards judgment, okay, as opposed to spending towards compassion. And sometimes that we get caught up on the wrong end of that polarity. So this week, why don't we focus our attention on compassion? Why don't we focus on sending that energy out of compassion? Now, there's an amazing, you know, thing that the brain does. The brain is super lazy. That's why it likes patterns. And as soon as it creates patterns, I'm not even going to get into the whole neurological aspect of it, but basically the brain is lazy, okay? And it doesn't want to focus on anything that's necessarily new, right? So when we start practicing, okay, something over and over and over again, it's going to create a habit, right? But the brain doesn't know the difference between something that's happening in real time, something that's a visualization, or something that's an imagination. Believe it or not, that's how we end up with PTSD, right? The brain is responding the same way. But anyhow, so if the brain doesn't know, we're going to trick the brain into thinking, into believing, right, that we are actually focusing all of our energy on sending that compassion out. And we can do that through visualization and imagination. Yep. So if you want to envision, let's say we're going to send this amazing love to the Ukrainian people, it's compassion to the Ukrainian people. A super easy visualization would be to focus on your heart space, right? So the heart, the energy center, focus on your heart space. And let's say we want the card is green energy. It could be for healing. Okay. It could be for love. You can envision whatever color you want. We're going to use green because the card is green. So we're going to focus this green energy right in our heart space, and we can just kind of sit with it and envision, okay, and feel this energy just kind of welling up like a ball, and it's welling up and it's welling up and it's welling up. And then you can envision, you can feel sending this powerful laser beam, okay, of energy over to the Ukrainian people, and it's engulfing all of them with this source of compassion. Okay, you can do that. You can say prayer, you can say blessings, right? You can send mental, thoughts to them, whatever your source of compassion is, and for whoever it is this week, let's focus on sending some compassion. We all need it, but do not forget to send compassion to yourself. If you don't have enough compassion for you, you're going to be depleting all of your energy sources. It's great that you're sending compassion out, but it needs to come right back to you. And that's where a lot of people struggle, is the compassion for themselves. So maybe this week, find a way or two of being compassionate to yourself. Send yourself some love, do something kind for yourself, go buy a book, or whatever. If you're not a reader, go buy candy. If you don't like candy, go adopt a dog, something, but be compassionate to yourself this week and be compassionate to others. All right, everyone, that's it. I am looking forward to doing many more of these videos, just tapping in, using some of these healing tools. If you are seeking mental health services, especially in Texas, reach out. We'll definitely be able to either schedule some appointments for you or help you find someone who is, that you can resonate with, mental health services. And if you're looking for, an astrological consultation or just learning more about witchy stuff and magical stuff, reach out. I am your gal. All right, everyone. Have a beautiful week. You can find me at silvermooncounseling.org. That's silvermooncounseling.org. And now you can have a beautiful week. Take care, everyone. Blessed be.